And you had Little Caesar's crazy bread.
Stolen right off the counter.
What the fuck is going on with the boys? It's over at this point. It's over. I can confidently say it's over. I think I've known it in my heart for a little while now. But now it's actually over. I've seen it happen to so many shows I've loved over the years. So many. They just fuck it up at the end. And it can't be that hard. It's just a story at the end of the day. Movies can pull off good endings. How come TV shows struggle to finish shit off? It's just a story. Sure, it's probably a little wider in scope with more characters and blah, 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 blah. But why is it so fucking hard? Character arcs, set up, payoff. No, these fucking shows just keep blowing it. Season 5 of The Boys started off strong. The first 2 episodes I thought, oh shit, they're making moves. They're killing characters that need to be killed. They're moving the plot along. And the last 5 episodes that have come out since the first 2 premiered, I don't even know what's happened. We've set up a Soldier Boy prequel show. We've talked about characters that just have no relevance to the boys, like Bomb Sight. We've got to find Bomb Sight. This is from the episode the other day. Golden Geisha. All these stupid tangential, whatever, side characters that don't matter. What really matters is the boys. And the boys haven't had any character progression. Really, they've had no plot progression for seasons now. Season 3, you can criticize it, but it felt climactic. The battles, Soldier Boy coming in and almost defeating Homelander and Maeve in that final battle in Vought Tower, and shit was happening. And what's happened in this season, man? Nothing. For 5 episodes, all we've seen now or heard is Homelander wants to be a god. I gotta get the V1. The boys, we need to come up with a way to defeat Homelander. And here we are. They're still doing the same fucking thing 5 hours later. I can't be the only person that just is like, what are we doing, man? We're wheel spinning. We're wheel spinning maxing for my kids, for my younger viewers. We're bullshit maxing right now. We're time wasting maxing. We're doing all the maxing. There's no way they can pull off a cool finale. They can't. Things might happen. There might be some action. We've had no action scenes. Why are there no action scenes in The Boys? Why has the budget been cut in half? I'm just adjusting the microphone. Why has the budget seemingly been cut in half where there's no action, there's no real cool special effects very often? Season 1 was, I'm rewatching it now. It was cool. It was interesting. It offered something you didn't have on TV at the time. And now this show just feels like a comedy show where characters are dressed in ridiculous outfits, saying ridiculous bits of slang in Butcher's case, or making jokes about milk in Homelander's case. And they're all these scenes are just taking place in rooms. And there's nothing unique or cool happening. Why should I watch this show other than any other show? The only bit of neat special effects they do is the one thing they've done for 5 seasons, and reused over and over, which is the people exploding gimmick. I'm so over it. I'll do a bigger rant next week because I'm sure the finale won't pay off anything. It won't. I mean, also, before I move on, quick thought I just had. Remember in season 2 when Homelander had the vision? He was addressing that rally with Newman there, and he had a vision of lasering them all. I remember watching that at the time and my jaw dropped because I didn't know it was a dream sequence in the heat of the moment, and I was like, oh fuck. That's back in season 2. I thought Homelander was going to lose the plot, do more extreme bullshit things long ago. 1 episode left and he still hasn't done it. Are they saving all their marbles for the very last episode? I want to see Homelander go crazy. Everyone has wanted to see that. What I'm going to do now is I've taken notes. I'm just going to ramble about the notes and that'll be the video. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe, like. Oh father. This character that just come into this season, the religious pastor with the voice. Who is this guy? What are his motivations? He's got so much screen time and I know nothing about this dude or what he wants or what he's trying to achieve. Who is this guy? Does he believe in Homelander? Does he? Why are they giving so much and musical sequences to him? And it's just a waste of time in my opinion. He will probably just be exploded in the next episode, as every character gets exploded. Remember earlier in the season when Oh Father did a big shout? Homelander was in the crowd and then he heard Madeline Stillwell's voice and his face lit up. And then there were the visions he saw of her and people were theorizing that Oh Father is giving him visions, fucking with him. They could still reveal that he is and was the whole time. We could still get that in the final episode. But so far it's just like they keep throwing shit at you and not paying it off. Do you think Madeline Stillwell's going to come back? Do you? Do you? Do you think we're going to get any payoff to Oh Father and his powers? Because I don't think we are. Also tied up in the Oh Father plotline in this episode were the two side characters, Dog Knot and She Light. I already made my joke about it at the start of the video. What in the fuck are we doing? Yes, it is funny. Annie's reaction and Mother's Milk's reaction to that happening is funny. But this is the penultimate episode in the final season of one of Amazon Prime's biggest shows they've had. Why am I watching... Now let's talk about Homelander. We get the shot of him in the White House, in the Oval Office, right? The final shot from like the trailer. And we all thought, oh, this is the big moment. It mirrors the scene in the comic book. And we thought, oh, this is what it's all leading to. The little smirk he had in the trailer, that wasn't some sort of smirk of, I've just conquered the USA. It was a smirk of saying, we need to ban nut milk. What in the holy hell are we doing? I got my nut milk, Homelander. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Never actually drank almond milk just raw on its own like that. That's not that bad. Don't you ban my almond milk, Homelander. Why are we talking about almond milk in the final season of Fuck the Boys? Homelander also just kills the president. We don't see the ramifications of that. There'd be some news about it. There'd be some backlash. There'd be someone talking about it. We didn't hear anything about it. And while I'm on the subject, Ashley, what kind of character is this? This is such a weird character. There was room for plot progression with her. Seasons ago, things were happening. And now she's just Voldemort out of the Philosopher's Stone, yes woman to Homelander, and I just don't understand where she's going. What is the point of this character? Why do all these side characters get more screen time than the boys? Let's go back to Homelander. He took the V1 in the previous episode. In the previous episode, he sort of had that menace about him he used to have in like season 1. Mostly just season 1. That was when Homelander was scary. It was season 1. The dude, remember when they had Translucent in that basement? And Homelander was like flying around the block and you just saw it in the sky and the boys were freaking out. They were like, fuck, he's here, he's in the area. Now, not the case. It's so incredible how far Homelander's menace has crashed. Instead of the menace, we get the comedian jester Homelander. And don't get me wrong, he's funny, he's good at what he does. But the menace is what made us sort of get weirdly attached to him. He was scary. He was really scary. And then when he sort of started to lose his mind a little bit, it felt believable because of his circumstances. And now he's bathing in milk, he's banning nut milk, he's crushing heads, he's just a joke. And the V1, I was going to talk about the V1, Homelander doesn't feel any more powerful or different in this episode. Give the dude a costume change, make him wear something darker, a visual change, an appearance change, a character change where he's a bit more serious and menacing and getting shit done instead of talking about nut milk. But none of that. We built up to this V1 bullshit for so long and it doesn't feel like it's had any effect on the plot. In the last episode, Butcher said, run. Like he was shitting himself. How did the boys, after Homelander took a dose of V1, escape him? They were only 100 meters, 200 yards away from him when he took that V1 shot. Did he not hear them? Why didn't we get a sequence of Homelander going crazy like Clark Kent in Man of Steel, where his expanded powers just started to manifest, and he was like going crazy, hearing things and seeing through everything and blah, blah, blah. Imagine if this episode picked up directly after that and Homelander killed one of the boys immediately. Or something, just something. Something! Ah! Marie and the gender switcher from Gen V turn up in this episode, and then they basically get told, fuck off, we don't want you. I'm glad about that. The boys have a plan to turn Kimiko into Soldier Boy by exposing her to uranium so she can get that power that, woof, to explode like Soldier Boy did, to maybe get rid of Homelander's power. But it does make sense because the Russians did that to Soldier Boy over decades, and the boys are trying to do this in a couple days with the help of the smartest woman on the planet, Sister Sage. Can we talk about Sister Sage for a second? What a waste of fucking time this character is. The writers have no idea how to write this character. They don't. They just have people say, you're the smartest person ever. They just have people say she's smart. And then she lobotomizes herself through the eyeball as some sort of shock value to the audience. Look, oh, isn't it shocking? And then she rams a starlight dildo where the sun don't shine. And it's just like, what are we doing? That's what the boys are up to this episode. It's like Scooby-Doo and the gang. Every bloody episode, the boys are just up to some nonsensical science experiment. Every episode, the boys' plot, the actual boys themselves, their plot gets reset. They're just in the same place every fucking episode. The Deep has made it to the final episode. I can't believe it. I'm glad of it. I love the Deep, but fuck me. Where are they taking this character? Are they giving him a redemption arc? Why didn't you do that seasons ago? Is he gonna get killed by his own fish? What plot narrative sense does that make? Why do that? What about Black Noir? Can we talk about that from the last episode? Oh shit. You killed the first Black Noir in season 3 after he had immense character development and potential. You replace him with this character just for him to get snubbed out by the Deep, who was using a HDMI cord to strangle him. What are we doing? So now the Deep's probably just gonna get eaten by a shark in the next episode, which also doesn't make sense because the Deep is super indestructible as well. I can't believe I've gone on this long about this. This was gonna be a quick video, but the more I talk about this, the more it's just coming out of me. The satire is still as strong as ever. They just keep making the most on-the-nose, right-wing, conservative, Republican, Donald Trump satire imaginable. And look, it is funny. It is funny because it's, it's funny. But second to last episode, why are we seeing a whole sequence of this whoever the fuck actor saying these lines to this Starlight impersonator? Why are we seeing this? Why are we spending so much time on it? I don't understand, man. The satire was funny once upon a time, but the plot is calling, hello, let me in. Soldier Boy's back in cryo sleep again after one scene with Homelander. What is the point of Soldier Boy this season? He has flip-flopped his motivations all over the place. They've retroactively gone back and made him Stormfront's lost love. Soldier Boy's only purpose in this show was to set up his prequel show, Vought Rising. And God, it feels like it. That's not enough, man. And then to have him just choked and put back in cryo sleep. What happened to the budget of this show? What happened to the budget? Why? These are superheroes. Where are the neat stunts or action scenes? We got to talk about Huey and Butcher. These two characters have just had the same dynamic for seasons. You're taking it too far, Butcher. You're taking it too far. And Butcher's like, oi, 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 Booker de Beppo. Give me some real conflict. Make Butcher actually do some hard-ass shit. And make Huey stop being such a pussy. Because he is just a pussy at the end of the day. Okay? I'm so sick of Jack Quaid and Huey. This guy, he just over-emotes his lines. Butcher, we're taking it too far. Like, he's always, look, on the verge of fucking crying. It's like, fuck up. Fuck up, Huey. Be a man, would ya? You've been through so much shit. Be a man. As if you don't want to kill all these superheroes. I'm so sick of their dynamic. They had genuine conflict seasons ago, and Butcher used Huey seasons ago, and you could have gone somewhere with this shit. Take more inspiration from the comics and what's happening there at this point in the story. But no, it just feels like we're spinning wheels. Tire spin maxing. Let's talk about the fact that this is the penultimate episode of the season, the series as well. Nothing feels truly set up. The only thing that's been set up is Homelander going batshit for more power and godhood. Like, if I hadn't watched the last 5 episodes, it wouldn't have mattered, it feels like, at this point. It really doesn't. It doesn't feel like we're about to watch the last episode of The Boys. It doesn't feel like that. They have done a terrible, terrible job in setting up the conflict of the finale. The only consequence this season has had as a whole is Frenchie dying, which he does at the end of this, and it was touching. I liked his death. I liked everything about this. Him hiding Kimiko and Sage. I like seeing Homelander super speed when Frenchie taps on the wall and he just appears. Very cool. I like Homelander and Frenchie's little interaction. I thought it was a great line to say to Homelander, "I bet you've never danced a day in your life." I think that is a remarkably good line, and you can see it affects Homelander. It's a phenomenal line because it cuts through the heart of what Homelander's fatal flaw is that he just cannot connect with humanity. And humans dance. People dance. I love to dance. Homelander's never danced, and maybe if he had danced once in his life, he wouldn't be the guy he is. I love that line. It's phenomenal! And then Frenchie dies. It was very sad. I think the Kimiko actress, for all the shit she's been getting online now that her character can speak, she delivered a very, very good performance in this scene. It's very sad. I liked Frenchie. And I'm just really hoping now that the tone switches. There was some orchestral sad music playing before he died. More of that, please. Let's change the tone. Let's get serious. No more blood and gore shock value gags. No more butt sniffing gags. No more nut milk jokes. Nothing. We're in the end game now. The final episode is called Blood and Bone. Deliver something, please. Please. I've seen too many of my favorite shows go down in flames. As far as I can tell, this show, its legacy is over. The legacy of The Boys will be memes, and that'll be it. It's sad to say, but you can still give me a proper good final episode. And I hope that you do. Please. Please, I'm begging you. Please. Subscribe.